All right, Schlockmeister fans. Relatively newer film. This one's called Dog Soldiers. Never seen it before. Werewolves. Check it out. Our film starts in a tent. Meanwhile, in another part of the woods, we have some of the army doing some sort of special ops training.
Let's try, Private Cooper. You evaded capture for 22 hours.
Won't bet on a joy you're fucking slaying me.
You paid any attention at all during the briefing, Kirkley. You know exactly who we were up against on this harmless little exercise, wouldn't you?
And who's that then?
Special Forces, you plunker.
Well,
no trace, no bodies, just disappear.
They basically tell some
Never
ghost stories.
seen again.
Our pleasant campfire is interrupted by a dead cow. The next day they come across the camp of the other group and all they find is a lot of blood.
What the fucking hell happened here, Sarge?
This is getting more boring by the minute.
Jesus.
They find one survivor.
Captain? Ryan? What happened here?
Do not tell me you fucking know.
Only supposed to be one!
What's you on about, Sarge? Terry, get back on stag now.
You've got to get me out of here before they come back.
Who, Captain? Who is going to come back?
They tore them to pieces.
It won't make any difference. They won't die.
Yeah, well, this gives me a better peace of mind, sir.
You want peace of mind? Run for your lives before they tear your legs from under you.
Well, something starts chasing him through the woods. This guy's not watching where he's going and impales himself.
Jesus!
And they're now being stalked by what appears to be werewolves. Luckily for them, a woman in a truck happened to be driving by. She picks them up. And they get away. She takes them to a house. Takes them to a house for some people she knows
Spoon, get a field dressing on that wound.
who are not home.
Terry, keep an eye out front.
A little while later, they check her truck. It's been damaged.
Don't stare back.
What they can do, my guess is they're doing exactly what you'd be doing in their shoes. They're working as a team, looking for a weakness, a way in.
I'm not about to second guess these things. They're the enemy, simple as that.
This is no ordinary enemy.
The Sarge has an open wound, and we all know what happens if you survive a werewolf attack.
Is it so difficult to believe? For a whole year now, I've tracked these things, I've studied them, tried to understand them. Every month, when the moon is full, they hunt as a team.
The Sarge's wound has healed. Now they're trapped in the house, and the wolves know they're in there.
Never go if you think
trying to cause a diversion here, which works. And this guy makes it out to the garage, where he finds a working vehicle. However, he also finds a working werewolf feeding. He backs the truck up against the house, but didn't realize there was one in the back seat also.
They're the men in white coats who train dolphins to stick mines on submarines and cute furry animals to tear your head off at the neck. They saw an opportunity and called me in.
To do what? Catch one of these things?
And to bring it back.
Well, another one of their guys who had been injured by a wolf earlier starts to turn.
When you think about it, we bust into their house, we eat all their porridge, we sleep in their fucking beds. No wonder they're pissed off.
But they're good people, they're kind people.
What was the pissing?
They're surmising that the people who own that house are the werewolves.
Too right, man. Now do not tell me that that is fucking normal. What happened to Ryan is happening to me.
Well, they managed to get a fire going outside to blow up the garage. Hopeful that all the werewolves were in there.
There is no house in the next glen.
No.
And there were no werewolves in the barn when it blew.
Not one.
She has a secret.
Do you think I like being part of this fucked up family? Do you think I chose to run with the pack? No. I chose you.
She let her family in.
Somebody has me in the house of misery.
This guy tried to box one of the wolves in the kitchen. But he's not going to win this one.
I hope I give you the shits, you fucking wimp.
We're down to 2 survivors, including the Sarge, who starts to turn. But he turned on the gas in this place and blows it all up. While the other guy got out. Which leads to one final encounter with a silver lever opener. Apparently that is the Sarge. He somehow got out.
It is now.
And that's our film. All right, let's talk about Dog Soldiers. This is a movie that I had never seen before until today. It's a movie I didn't have in my collection until a few days ago. Found it at a Goodwill, actually, and picked it up because I was familiar with it a little bit because a lot of the Facebook groups that I belong to, the movie groups, a lot of the horror fans talk about Dog Soldiers and how good it is. So finally had to track it down and get it. So there you go. So what we have here, it's a British film, and it takes place in Scotland. And there's a group of some sort of special ops, army thing or something or other, doing some sort of training regimen in the woods. And they're going up against this other group, some sort of game they're having. And when they reach the other group's camp, they don't find anybody there. Instead, they find what looks like an attack. They find some like guts and stuff on the ground. It looks like they've been attacked by something. They find one survivor, though, and he said, you got to get me out of here. They were all torn apart. We got to get out of here before they come back. They don't know what the guy's talking about. And so they start to move out of there, but then nightfall comes, and they start getting attacked by werewolves. Obviously, this is a werewolf movie, so we see little bits of them running around the woods, chasing them. A couple guys get killed. Eventually, this woman drives by in this truck, and they all get in her truck, and they take off while getting attacked there as well. But they escape, and she brings them back to this house, and she basically, tells them, I don't know what's going on, but here, let's hide out in this house. There's people that she knows, apparently, and it comes out that there are creatures in the woods, werewolves, and she's aware of them, and she says, you're lucky to get out of there, that sort of thing. Well, it's nighttime now, and the wolves continue to attack them. It's basically kind of like Night of the Living Dead, except instead of zombies, we have werewolves. They're outside. The people inside the house are trying to find a way to get out. At one point, they take a truck out of the garage. They managed to run to that after a diversion was caused. But there was a werewolf in the truck, and the guy got killed. The werewolves do attack you. They do eat you. Their sergeant got actually thrashed in the stomach or slashed in the stomach, and he's injured, but he's, they're trying to nurse him back to health. Of course, if you get bitten by a werewolf or cut or something by a werewolf, you're going to become one yourself. So that happens to another character in the film, and then they end up killing him, and then the sergeant realizes it's going to happen to me too. It's just a matter of time. Well, ultimately, we find out that the woman who is in the house there, she admits to being part of the family that lives there. In fact, she says, you'd think I wanted this life? And then it's clear that she's a werewolf too, so she starts to turn. She lets the other werewolves in the house. They shoot her in the head, and then the werewolves are in the house and they're attacking. So a couple guys run upstairs. We're basically left with two survivors. One, of course, is the Sarge. And then the Sarge ends up in the kitchen. He turns on the gas as a bunch of werewolves come over. He starts to turn himself, but before he completely turns, he blows up the whole house. And the one guy, managed to get out just in time. And he makes it outside. Now, the Sarge somehow survived, but he turned into a werewolf. And then he attacks the other guy in the barn or whatever, garage, whatever the hell it was. And the other guy takes a silver letter opener, stabs him with it, which weakens him, and then he can shoot him. And apparently he lived, and that's how the movie ended. So that is Dog Soldiers. Now, what I liked about Dog Soldiers is in fact, they even mentioned this on IMDb, is that there was very little CGI used. It was real special effects, and I like that a lot. It just has a touch of realism to it. Plus, the werewolves in this movie stand on two legs, and they look extremely similar to the werewolves you see in the movie The Howling, which to me is one of the top one or two greatest werewolf films ever made, and a film that to this day still scares me. I love the werewolf look in that film, and these werewolves looked exactly the same. The only thing we didn't see, like in The Howling or A Werewolf in London, is a full transformation sequence. We see a couple of them where they start and their eyes turn yellow or whatever, and they have fangs and claws, but we don't actually see the growth and stuff and the whole transformation. But you work with what you got, and I think they did actually a pretty darn good job with this movie. So anyway, that is Dog Soldiers. Now, I got this, like I said, from Goodwill. I think I paid about $3 for it, which isn't bad for a DVD Blu-ray combo, and it looks great. So anyway, there you go, Dog Soldiers. If you haven't seen Dog Soldiers, you should definitely check it out because it's a pretty cool film. So check it out, leave some comments, let me know what you think about it. Dog Soldiers, watch it. Bye. Woo.